and welcome to my channel where I make dishes inspired by some of my favorite video game characters. Today's dish is inspired by the prince from the Katamari damacy series. I never played this as a child, but I still somehow have immense nostalgia for Katamari damacy. I first played it through the Reroll remaster that came out just a few years ago, and I was immediately obsessed with it. It's an extremely charming game with just the right amount of weird and silliness to constantly make you giggle or question what the heck is going on. It's so colorful and the music is so enjoyable to listen to while you play. The gameplay is so incredibly addictive as it's so fun to roll up everything in your path and cross each item off of your mental list. It's also so satisfying to watch as your Katamari grows so big. You get so proud of yourself for finally being able to pick up an object that was way too big for you at the start of the level, especially on some of the end levels where you go from like the size of a tennis ball to literally rolling up islands and clouds. The game is not deep at all in story, and it doesn't have to be, it just has to be an enjoyable gameplay experience, and it absolutely rocks at this. I also appreciate how it's never too hard. If you lose a level, it doesn't feel impossible at all, just like you need to learn the proper path to take. I've absolutely adored my time with each of the games as they've been remastered recently, and to me, this simple yet complex series will never get old. There are honestly lots of foods that make an appearance in the games, and they can all, of course, be swallowed up by your Katamari ball. Ultimately though, as most people would agree, a dish based on the prince needs to be spherical in shape, and bonus points if it looks like it has sucked up other smaller objects. There's luckily plenty of spherical foods to choose from, but the whimsical and fun nature of Katamari damacy reminds me the most of the joy of desserts. The prince's light green color is so cute and reminds me the most of limes. With all of this information, I sat and debated and had an epiphany. I feel it. I feel the truffles. Therefore, we are making some key lime Katamari truffles that are not only a total ball to make, but to eat. Here's what you'll need to make your own. Heavy cream, salted butter, 5 key limes or 2.5 medium limes, white baking chocolate or chocolate chips, salt, optional green food dye, graham crackers, granulated sugar, and colorful small sprinkles. Ah, it's cousin mashed potatoes. What were you doing in the kitchen? Making Katamari truffles? We have no idea what you're talking about. To start, we'll grab a small saucepan, but I also want to apologize that I forgot to hit record as I was adding these ingredients. Anyway, into the saucepan, we'll add in a 1/2 cup of heavy cream and 1 tablespoon of salted butter. You'll also grab your limes and add the zest of all of the limes into the pan. Once the limes are plenty bare, you'll juice all limes into the pan as well. You can then head over to the stovetop and start heating this pan on medium-high heat. You'll stir the pan frequently as the mixture heats so that everything can combine better and the cream doesn't burn in any one area. You'll heat the mix until it starts to boil and bubble, and once bubbling, we'll remove the pan from the heat. We'll then let the lime and cream mixture sit like this for 30 to 60 minutes to allow the flavor to infuse into the cream. Now, if you have white baking chocolate, you'll need to chop it into smaller pieces until you have about 2 3/4 cup worth. If you have white chocolate chips, then you can skip the chopping step. It's ideal if you can use a bar because it will lead to a nicer texture, but chips are just fine. After 30 to 60 minutes, it'll feel like deja vu, but you'll head back to the stovetop and heat the mixture again on medium-high heat until it's bubbling. As the mix heats up, add 2 3/4 cups worth of white chocolate into a heat-safe bowl, and once the cream is bubbling, pour the cream into the white chocolate bowl. Let the warm cream sit with the chocolate chips for at least a minute, and then start mixing everything together with a metal spoon. You'll mix until all of the chocolate has finally melted and is smooth, but if you feel like it needs a teeny bit more heat to get it to melt, you can just put the bowl into the microwave for just a few seconds. Once everything is nice and smooth, you'll add in a pinch of salt and a small amount of optional green food dye and mix until well combined. We'll then slide the bowl into the fridge to chill and become more solid, which should take at least 30 minutes. As the chocolate is almost solid, crush up 4 large sheets of graham crackers until they are in small and fine crumbs. You can of course pulse them in a blender or food processor or by hand in a plastic bag. Once they are fine, add them into a shallow bowl as well as a pinch of salt, 1 tablespoon of granulated sugar, and about 2 to 3 tablespoons of colorful small sprinkles. Mix all contents until everything is well dispersed, and once your chocolate is ready, you can grab your bowl from the fridge. Use a small cookie scoop or a tablespoon and scoop out small truffle balls. Roll your Katamari truffle into the graham cracker and sprinkle mix until the surfaces become coated. I rolled my Katamaris when they were still slightly soft, but if yours has become too solid, you might have a difficult time getting the crumbs to stick. If that's the case, just let the chocolate come to room temperature a little bit more and the crumbs should stick easier. Repeat the rolling and coating process with each Katamari, setting them onto a serving plate or bowl until all Katamaris are covered. If you like truffles that are slightly softer, you can go ahead and dig in right away, but if you like firmer truffles, stick them into the fridge to firm up more. You'll also want to store the leftover truffles in the fridge before eating to keep them fresher, and with that, we're ready to dig in. They might be small, but these truffles pack a mighty punch. I can't believe how rich they are as you take a bite. The white chocolate is extremely decadent, and the taste of the limes is so fresh and strong. The green color is so fun, and the colorful sprinkles and crumbs on the outside make me want to jump into a round of Katamari damacy instantly. The texture of the truffles also makes you want to melt as you dive in, and although these are made with lime, there are so many varieties of truffle flavors that you can make and enjoy. They might not be the largest Katamaris that the King of the Cosmos has ever seen, but he'd be so impressed after having a bite. He'd feel so proud of his little son for rolling up this perfect mix of ingredients to make this amazing Katamari. It's in his nature to want to throw it up into the cosmos to make a beautiful planet, but he'd have to make an exception and keep these for himself. He'd get the amazing idea to prepare some of these with the prince to give to the queen, because he would just know that she'd love them too. All of the prince's cousins would like to tag along to help in any way that they could, but they'd have to be careful not to get in his way when he was rolling these up in the kitchen. The king may give the prince a hard time in most things that he does, and at times the prince feels like he's always disappointed in him. But in this circumstance, the king would make it clear how much he loves him and how proud of him he is. The recipe card is in the video description if you'd like a more quick and concise version to give it a try. Like if you want a bite, subscribe for more geeky treats, and comment what foods the prince reminds you of. Thanks for following along.